Dear Hamza, I'm addicted to the internet. It all started as a form of escapism from reality of war in my country, but as for now, it's become much worse. It's not even an addiction, it's literally my life. I have bad attention span because of reels, need to constantly watch or listen to something because of YouTube, have anxiety because of Instagram, can't feel horny and get an erection in real life because girls aren't as attractive as porn and Instagram models. I have problems with keeping eye contact, feel weirdly guilty and ashamed, and I don't feel comfortable and interested when talking to others. Although I'm very popular in my university because of my good looks, sense of humor, and charisma, and I have loads of attention from the girls, they stare at me at the whole way and sometimes approach me first to talk to me. But I feel broken and empty, don't feel real connection with my pals, and I keep rejecting and creating distance from the girls, which I know are attracted to me because my situation will only get worse because of relationship. Those girls aren't very high quality, although hot. I don't feel interested in my life, but I don't have any suicidal thoughts, which is weird, I guess. Don't have long term hobbies, nothing feels interesting, forget about finding my purpose. I can't feel any intense emotions, neither good or bad. Also, I have blocks and tightness in all of my body. What should I do? What is the step by step plan to get out of this problem and start living, breathing fully? By Taurus. Jesse said, tackle one thing at a time. Recommend you stop scrolling reels, but allow yourself long form content. There's a sequence of de escalating instant gratification that will unlock greater focus while reducing time lost. For example, you'd cut reels, TikToks, random YouTube videos, Netflix shows, movies, random podcasts in that order. I'd recommend tackling porn separately and just trying to reduce it while you get your other bad habits under control. Lust is more of a sub-personality than an addiction, and so trying to suppress it while you're in a weak disciplined state will be almost impossible. Likewise, the longer you repress it, the more likely you relapse with a vengeance, and so tying your identity and sense of progress to a nofap streak in these early months is a recipe for total spirals in all areas of self-improvement. I wish more people spoke about this. NoFap and getting rid of porn is a very, very difficult thing. Honestly, very difficult. It took me years. And for the years that I struggled, where I kept on relapsing, every time where I'd end up jacking off again, I would hate myself further and further and further. And if I could go back to that young version of me, I would have told him to do things a bit differently, because I was trying to change my life in so many areas. I was trying to go to the gym and eat clean and work because I was in university, speak to girls, speak to guys. I had so many goals. But then I also had this thing that was like destroying my self-esteem, which was I tied a lot of my sort of progress to my nofap streak. Okay, I'd get to day 3 and I'd relapse. I'd get to day 1, relapse, day 2, whatever. And I wish I could go back to that version of me and say, hey, you know what? Look, you've tried to just use your sort of willpower to quit this habit right now, and it's clearly not working. How about you just stop thinking about it entirely and you stop just seeing it as a problem? Just don't use porn. Literally, just don't use porn, but whenever you get horny, if you don't have like a girlfriend or girls to sleep with, just jack off. Don't edge. Don't make it like, a long session or anything. Imagine you just like hyper fap in like a productive way where it's over in like 2 minutes the moment that, you really feel like, oh, I've got to release whatever. Because I can tell you this high level kind of spiritual advice of breathing and moving the spiritual kind of sexual energy around. But what I've realized now is like a lot of young guys just don't really know how to fucking do that. It's very difficult, right? It's very, very difficult. That's something that when you're in your like late 20s, you start having the awareness of your body. You start having this feeling of like, oh damn, like I really want to have sex right now. I really want to jack off. Okay, I'm going to go work instead. I'm going to go do that, or I'm going to go message this girl that I've been with before, or this girl or this girl. But when you're a young guy and you're just jacking off all the time, if you have the idea that you can't jack off, then every time you do, you're going to feel like shit. And when you feel like shit, you'll be more likely to then go and do the other bad habits, like watching more porn later on that day, eating junk food, whatever. I really need you to be in like a high frequency, like a high sort of emotional vibration where you feel good, where you're happy, where you're smiling. And if every single day you're not, because the fact that you just relapsed again, oh man, oh I did it again, oh fuck me, oh I'm a piece of shit, then you're just going to spiral into other areas of self-improvement, like Jesse just said here. So I would rather, if you're watching this right now and you're someone who's really struggling with NoFap, I would rather you just take a break from NoFap and imagine, I know this is going to sound so weird, but imagine I just give you permission and I just say, bro, you know what? Just jack off. No problem. Don't even like stress about it. Just act as if you didn't even know it was a bad thing. Just don't watch porn. Don't watch porn. Don't watch anything like, sexual or whatever. But whenever you get horny and you really like want to fap, okay, just do it. Just do it and focus on the other things to remove from your life, which are a bit easier right now. It's very hard to not watch porn and to not check off when your life is just kind of shit and you're like, you're miserable, whatever. And you're also, you've got really high screen time. You're playing video games. You're just wasting away. You're sat in your own bedroom. If you improve your life first and give that your full attention, then naturally you'll just jack off less. What I found is you basically will fap to the level of how shit your life is. The better your life is, naturally, without even thinking about it, you just fap less because you're like, it's literally not even fun. Like my normal life, let's say the 20-minute block of time or the 1 hour block of time, depending on how long you're going. My normal life is literally more fun than me jacking off. So that's the point that I need you to get to. And so if you're obsessed over it right now, I would suggest just focus on the other things that you can actually cut out first. Just focus on what you could do, that you would do, and progressively overload on good habits like meditation, clean eating, and sleep, while you progressively underload your bad habits. Yeah. You need the mental health guide. So this is like a course inside of this community, which you can join. Top link in the description. Start meditating, exercising, reading, and journaling every day. Make a tracker, stick it to your wall. Use the 1 second rule. Every time my mental health got bad, I escaped it by getting a tracker streak. I promise you this tracker will save you. These 4 habits, progressively overload them every day, but still using the 1 second rule. As far as I remember, the 1 second rule means only doing 1 second of the activity and ticking the box. Yeah, that was my advice in this. Like, basically, I made this course, like this sort of step-by-step protocol for the guys in here to improve their mental health, doing these habits. And it's the mindset you've got to have is if you do them for a single second, then you can tick the box of like your habit tracker to say that you've done it today. So that way the barrier to you feeling like you've done something is so low that you can just meditate, exercise, read, and journal every single day for the rest of your life, even if you're sick, even if you've got a headache, even if you've got fucking diarrhea. If I told you, okay, if you just do 1 second, you get to tick the box, you should literally never miss the box for the rest of your fucking life, right? If it's 1 second, right? Even if you're in fucking hospital, you can fucking do like half a push-up and that counts. And the idea is you're probably thinking like, yeah, but like doing one push-up a day is not going to make gains. But most days, you're not going to drop down and do 1 push-up and call it a day. You'll drop down, do 1, be like, oh, I've just got to get the box. Fine, I'll do 1. And then you'll do a set. And then you might even do 2. And then you might just say, oh, fuck it, yeah, let's go to the gym, whatever. You'll say, okay, you'll do 1 mindful breath. And then you'll probably do like another 3, then 4. And then one day you'll be like, yeah, fuck it, let me set a timer on, let me do 5 minutes. When I was literally at your level, all I needed to hear was this. Do things while not explaining the complexity of what you do to question askers. What? Now go hit the gym, improve focus, deep work, find your insecurity, and neutralize it by becoming better at what you were shit at. Don't autistically explain your thoughts to random. Tell your friends who deserve or voice note. Right now you're thinking, I don't really understand what you're saying. Hey, Taurus. I was in a similar situation with content consumption and I had all the symptoms that you describe. I also used to need to watch something constantly. I used to doom scroll short form content. I used to have bad anxiety from all these things, but I changed my behaviors. I went on a dopamine detox and it is literally life-changing. This is what I was going to recommend as well. The best thing for me was watching Hamza's dopamine detoxing video. I've linked it. So it's this one here, 1 year dopamine detox. On this video, can you see the picture of me on the left? Can you see how my skull, like my head, has that kind of like shape? I'm pretty sure that's from using headphones. Like have you seen people who have got like headphone skull? Headphone, yeah. This. I had this when I was growing up until like a little. I don't really have it anymore now, I think. Let me see. Yeah, I don't think I've really got it anymore. Maybe a little bit, but like, look how bad that is, bro. These fucking games. This has got to be edited. This is surely got to be edited. Like that, yeah. When you've just kept your headphones on as like a gamer for like 10 years straight, hours and hours and hours every day. That's fucked. That's so ugly. Yeah, like this. It really it protrudes. It makes like the back of your skull, like if it would go like wimp skull. Fuck. Yeah. The back of your skull, the more of a shape it has like this, the more of like a vulnerable little wimp you have, like look you have, right? What you don't want is this fucking like, see how like, imagine we were cavemen and you see this fucking guy with like this type of skull shape, you just know one fucking bop on the back of his head and he's over and you can take his wife. See how this one, he's got a thick neck and there's less of that fucking shape. I don't know why I'm telling you this in this fucking detox video, but yeah, it's kind of, you know what, look, it's a silly example I've just gave you, right? We're talking about reducing content, whatever, and I've just made this point about this skull shape. But just think about that. When you're thinking about quitting content and scrolling and everything, you know how you've heard it's like so bad for you, all these dopamine habits? Think about how I've just given you a random example of something you were not thinking about just 10 minutes ago. Like imagine 10 minutes ago if someone asked you like, hey, like what are the consequences of like, you know, being on the internet too much, scrolling, video games, whatever. You probably would not have fucking said it. Makes your skull look fucking retarded when you wear headphones, right? This kind of modern day addiction of the internet and all these devices and everything, it's so insidious. Where like being a video gamer will get you the fucking wimpy looking skull that makes you look like vulnerable to fucking other people, where your head fucking protrudes outwards like this and you've got this fucking ugly skull shape from wearing the headphones. So my point here is this stuff is so bad for us that you can't even think of most of the negatives, like the consequences that happens in your life because of this stuff. This guy here, Taras, he's got some awareness that he's able to correlate, you know, his problems with keeping eye contact and his disinterest with friends and with girls based on this. Welcome to the community. Right, so he's got some awareness here. But what I'm telling you, just listen to me here. This like new modern addiction of like the internet and our screens is so insidious. It's so bad. So I'll read the rest of this comment and then I'll tell you my advice. The best thing for me was watching Hamza's Dopamine Detox video. So you can probably just go search this one, Hamza 1 year Dopamine Detox, if you're watching this on YouTube. For me, quitting the cheap dopamine like social media, short form content, and the constant consumption of media has been the greatest positive change in my life apart from lifting weights. Yeah, probably same for me. The way I did it was I wrote down all the instant gratifying behaviors like watching reels, watching content while doing other things, pornography, on a piece of paper, and I titled it Dopamine Detox Protocol. And I decided I wasn't going to do any of these behaviors anymore. Then I used a streak tracker to track how many days I went without engaging with these behaviors. For me, the first 24 hours sucked. It was like everything was grey and foggy. But every day after that, they got better, and by day 7, I felt like I had superpowers. I'm still trying to improve. Often I lose my streak when I get ill and I can't resist engaging in cheap dopamine behaviors. But I always restart my streak if I fail to keep a good measure of my progress. It worked really well for me. Like I said, it's been one of the biggest positive changes in my life, and I'm working hard at getting more consistent with my dopamine detox and adding more instant gratification behaviors to my protocol, like including caffeine or processed sugar. Because I know the more consistent I am with the dopamine detox, then the more instantly gratifying behaviors I cut out, the happier and more motivated and productive I become. I hope this helps, mate. You can change and make things better. Hamza is proof it's possible. Drop me a message if you want. I'm happy to chat more and help. That's a very good comment by Johnny. I'm going to pin this one so that everyone will see that right at the top. Taras replied and he said, thanks for your help, bro. I have this dopamine detox protocol both in my mind and on paper. I just struggle to stick to it. I had a couple of attempts to hop on detox, but I relapse sooner or later. The first week always feels like hell, but I break. But at this time, I'll do all needed to break through this rut. So wish you the best. Okay. So what advice would I give? So look, if you're in this situation, you already know the problem, right? You know that you're addicted to the screens, and you'd probably agree that like 80% of the problems in your life are just coming from like screens and internet. whether it's like bullshit you've seen in the messages, or you've seen some like depressive content, or you're watching porn, you're jacking off, video games, like your relationships are fucking up because of that, your attention span's fucked, you're constantly needing stimulation, whatever. Most of us would agree that probably about 80% of our problems are just coming from our screens. And what's interesting, at least I think for quite a lot of us, of our screens, 80% of the sort of problematic screens is probably our phones, right? Because many of us don't really watch like TV these days. And on our computers, I assume a lot of us are a lot more productive. You're not just like mindlessly fucking watching much content on your computer. I assume so, but you might be, right? But either way, look, we need to get rid of screens. So I've done a lot of experimentation to find out the best tactic possible, and I've found what it is. This is how to reduce your screen time from 8 to 10 hours a day to around 20 minutes a day. Seriously. But you're probably going to resist when I tell you this. So this is exactly what I'm doing for the last few days. At nighttime is the only time where I use my phone. I go on my phone. I have a checklist on my computer where it's just a few simple things that I'm going to do on my phone. Like I schedule food for tomorrow. Like I live in the type of place where you just order food from restaurants every day. So I schedule food to arrive, at 7 a.m., 1 p.m., 5, whatever, for tomorrow. I also check some messages to make sure there's nothing super important. I like book some classes at my gym and stuff that I've got to do on my phone. I check on Instagram quickly if I make sure like I've got reels and stuff scheduled, like my content scheduled as a creator. And then I basically, one final thing is I kind of sync my phone to my Aura Ring, like this sleep tracking device. I sync that, check the data, put the Aura Ring on airplane mode, and then I turn my phone off and I put it in my drawer. It's switched off in my drawer, and I promise you this is the truth now. I wake up and my phone's switched off in the drawer. I don't get it. The first thing I do, I go do my morning routine. I go have a shit, a shower, I start working, coffee, whatever. My phone is in my drawer. This is new for me, by the way, so I don't know if I'll stick to this like for a long time, but I'm just telling you for the last few days I've done this and it's been really nice. I will do this work whenever it gets to about 8 a.m. I start getting ready for the gym. I go to the gym without my phone. And I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, okay, Hamza, okay, I could wake up and not check it first thing, fine. But like, nah, I've got to take my phone. I need the music. I need this thing or this thing. What if someone messages me? And you know what I realized when I was thinking about this? I was like, okay, some small bad things might happen. Imagine I was meant to meet my friend. Let's say the gym I go to has like classes, like mobility class at like 7 a.m., 8 a.m., whatever. And imagine me and my friend, we consistently go together on some days. Imagine if one day I get there and he's not there and I don't have my phone to check. Okay. But if I had my phone to check, it wouldn't really have changed anything. Okay, he says, oh, sorry, bro, I feel a bit sick. I'm not going to come to the class today. Okay. If I get there and he's not there, I'll just kind of shrug my shoulders and think, oh, okay, I don't think he's coming today. Right? It like the idea that we need our phones, I actually started to challenge it. And I was like, you know what? Look, I am prepared for some small bad things to happen. Because there'll be a time when maybe I do need my phone when I'm out. But I live 10 minutes away from the gym. I'll just fucking come back if I absolutely need to. Or I'll just borrow someone else's phone if I absolutely need it. But so far, nothing's happened. In fact, the only thing that's happened is more positivity. I drive to the gym, right? So driving without your phone, without music, I thought, oh man, that's going to be dead. But I should just bring my phone just for the music. And I was like, no, you know what? If I bring my phone to the gym just for the music, I'll end up using it mid-set. This is the big mindset that I realized, right? If you have your phone with you, within like a meter of you, you will use it and you will check it. I just know it. There's no one who keeps their phone on them 24/7 who doesn't have like minimum 4 hours screen time every day, because you'll just use it here, you'll use it there. The moment you don't have your phone on you, it's like you almost forget it exists and you just live in the sort of present moment. And in fact, it's kind of disturbing. You look around in this weird dystopian reality, like, damn, like all you motherfuckers have got like shit posture. You're all just there, mindless on your phone. Yesterday I was in the gym, and this girl, I've seen her before. This girl, she's she's watching shorts mid set. I swear to God, she was doing like this back extension exercise, and as she goes down, she scrolled on the next fucking short and then like carried on the set. I swear to God, it was so funny. I waved over to her after she was done, and I was like, I've never seen someone scroll mid set before. But that's the life for most people, right? So then look, music, bro. The gym plays music, and there's like a 5-10 minute drive. Just fucking suck it up. You know what's nice actually? I was driving to the gym yesterday, no music. One of the first days I've went to the gym without music for probably like fucking 10 years, honestly. And I was actually having fun because I was just basically saying affirmations as I was driving. I was like shouting out loud, like, oh, I'm going to hit a fucking PR today. I'm that fucking guy. I was like, instead of listening to music about like some rapper tell me that he fucks girls and he makes money, I was saying it myself. I was saying it. I'm that fucking guy. I'm going to hit a PR. I'm jacked. I'm big. I'm 200 pounds. Boom, boom, boom. I was at saying it. Instead of me plugging in some other fucking guy, making me listen to his lyrics saying like, yeah, I fuck so many bitches and I make money and I do this and I'll kill people and stuff. Instead of me listening to someone else say it, I'm saying it. I got to the gym in like this fucking happy mood, hype as fuck and whatever. And in the middle of the gym, they play some like background music, some shitty tunes, whatever. And it was fine. It was like, I thought I would have hated it. I thought, because I listen to like a specific type of music, which gyms never play. And I was like, yeah, like, it's going to be shit. Bro, it's still a great workout. And then usually I track my lifts on my phone, right? So I've got like an app where it says, okay, what workout, whatever that I've planned into it. And I just did it on a fucking notepad. Literally, I genuinely took this with me. I took this with me and I just wrote it down on there. And I also felt like I didn't even need to because, if you train long enough, you kind of know what weights you use and everything. And I did it there. And honestly, it was like, bro, it was a great workout. This has been 2-3 days in a row. I've just done the workout without taking my phone. When I've mentioned this to some people, their respect for me has skyrocketed, especially girls when they see me with this fucking journal and they see me like writing things. I've had like 2 girls approach me in the last few days. Oh, what are you doing? What are you writing in there? And because, this kind of draws some, oh, you're a big guy and you got a pink pen, whatever. But you're the fucking interesting guy in the gym who's got a fucking journal, who's fucking, you know what I mean? Who's not just like on his phone. And then when I come back, right? So for me, on my phone, it was never a problem, like going to the gym. I wouldn't scroll, but I'd reply to messages and whatever. And of course, that can be a bit of a distraction. Like professionals aren't doing that, right? Professionals, when you think of an actual pro athlete, they're not checking their phone fucking mid fucking set or any bullshit. You want to have as much of a pure session as possible. Like you want to treat this shit with some fucking serious intent. So being in the gym without my phone didn't feel crazy different to like being with my phone. But the difference was when I came back. Usually when I come back from the gym, that's when I'm kind of tired and whatever. That's when I'm at risk of doing bullshit on my phone where I end up like texting too much. I end up going on Instagram and scrolling and whatever. But my phone is still in my drawer. So I would come back, quickly shower up, get onto the couch downstairs. That's where I go like after the gym to kind of like lie down and rest. And I just went on my Kindle, my reading device, and I just read for like 4 hours the last 2 days straight. Usually I would interrupt that reading with little bouts of me checking my phone randomly, whatever. Last 2 days I just didn't. And it was like, bro, it's like I read so much more the last 2 days than I have probably for like a week straight. Because when you interrupt what you're doing, you get way worse of like the sort of performance, whether it's the gym or reading or whatever. So the big tip I want to give you, and I promise you any excuses that come into your mind telling you, nah, I don't want to do this, I promise it's all cope. The big tip is, bro, turn your phone off and just put it somewhere fucking random in your house. The drawer, underneath your parents' fucking bed, shit like that, right? Just put it somewhere fucking random and see how for long you can go without even checking it. I check mine once a day, so at about nighttime, at about 8 p.m., I'll get it and I'll check my WhatsApp messages. I'll order the food for tomorrow and whatever. And that's like necessary. And that's okay. If you're actually using your phone for something as practical as that, as like, ordering food or whatever. Okay, that's absolutely fine. The problem is when you're just using your phone and you're checking your phone 100 times a day, like most people, right? Most people will check their phone 3 times when they drive into the gym, which is just fucking, bro, imagine how fucking crazy that is. Imagine one day over the next fucking 50 years, you or someone you love is going to be in a car crash because the fucking idiot behind them was checking their phone whilst driving. Like this is fucking deep, right? It is really fucking deep. We're talking about these like problems. Oh yeah, my attention span, whatever. What if someone in your family gets fucking killed by someone who's got a phone addiction who just checks their phone whilst they were driving? If you drive yourself, you 100% have seen some fucking imbeciles on the road. You can see them checking their phone, and it's like they almost hit you or they're swerving or whatever, right? That's the extreme end of like the fucking retards of society, the subhumans. But you, as a guy who's got a 4 to 6 hour screen time, you're not that far from being like that, right? So, and here's the big thing. There's so many mindsets I put together here, right? And I'm so glad I get to like teach this today to Taras and to anyone who's watching this on YouTube. Here was something I realized. I speculated this. I hypothesized this, right? I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to put my phone in the drawer, right? Then I visualized doing it for like a few days, a week. And I was like, oh, I bet it'll be the happiest I'll feel and it'll be so nice. But here's what's interesting. I visualized after a few days that then I would grab my phone and start to kind of keep it on me again. Because I'm not always just going to have my phone in the drawer and check it just once for the rest of my life. At some point, I'm going to start using it just like normal, but I'll just behave, right? I'll just discipline myself to use it properly because now I've had like a bit of a break. I was able to just speculate straight away. I was like, no. Whether I do this thing where, it's turned off in the drawer for a day or for a month, the moment I start carrying my phone on me again, I will start behaving exactly like I was just before. You can probably see that yourself, can't you? Like, if your phone is next to you, you're going to use it the exact same way you've always used it. If your phone is not next to you, then you're not using it. Sweet. Let's say you've been doing this tactic that I'm telling you. Okay, turn your phone off, keep it away. Don't even use it at all. See how long you can go. Let some small bad things happen, right? You can probably visualize that if you did this for a few weeks, you'd be feeling so much better. But then if you kept your phone on you after that, you'd probably think, okay, for a little while, I'd be kind of better behaved. I wouldn't use it as much. But if you're being honest, you can just know with how addictive this technology is. Within like the day, you would start scrolling again because it's just, bro, it's like it's such a habit. It's so easy. It's an addiction. You just start right again. Which basically means that for the rest of your fucking life, you have to follow this principle. You have to be the type of guy who doesn't bring his phone to the gym. You have to be the type of guy who doesn't even bring it to fucking school or university or anything or to work. And I know that sounds fucking crazy. It sounds risky, right? But bro, imagine some shit's gonna happen. Like, oh, you didn't get the text that like work is cancelled or school is cancelled today or some shit. Is that really that bad? That you commuted half an hour and then you're like, oh, school's cancelled. Okay, sweet, I gotta go back home. Like, yeah, best case scenario, you saw it beforehand. But think about the small bad things that can happen. Like, for example, I go to the gym, I train with my friend, but one day he doesn't show up. Is it really that bad that I didn't see his text in the morning? Because when I'm there, I'll start anyway, I'll warm up. And I usually just start, like if I plan to meet someone for a gym session, I get there and I just start the workout. I don't ever wait for anyone, just because it's like, you never know if someone's going to cancel or not. So let's say he doesn't turn up one day. Is it really that bad that I didn't see his text before because he hasn't turned up? I know that he's not here. So if you let small bad things happen, I know what you're thinking, but what about this? What about this? Okay, sure. I agree with you. Shit could happen, right? If you don't have your phone, if you don't take it to work or to school, if you don't take it to the gym, shit could sometimes happen, right? But is that shit going to outweigh the addiction that we have? The 6 hours that we use our phone a day? Now think about it, because it's a trade-off, right? Will some small bad things happen? Yes. And straight away you're thinking, yeah, but I don't want bad things to happen, so I'll take my phone. But you've got to compare the bad things from either option. This is like high-level decision-making. The bad thing of you keeping your phone locked away, not taking it to the gym, not even carrying it with you. You're downstairs, you don't have it with you. You're not the type of guy who just carries it on you, even in your bag anymore. It's literally at home when you go to school. That's so strange, right? And so some small bad things might happen. You might miss a message here or there. You might be in school, let's say, if you're still in school, and like, a friend messages you, hey, want to meet at this place, and you don't see it. And it's like, oh man, I would have liked to hang out with him, whatever. Some small bad things will happen. I agree with you. But are they worse than the big bad thing happening of you spending thousands of hours on your phone every year? Not even close. Not even close. The benefits of you doing this completely outweigh the negatives, right? So I know this sounds crazy, but what if you are that guy who doesn't even bring his phone to school or to the gym anymore? It's fucking cool. I know some retards will see it weird, but I'm telling you, anyone who's got triple digit IQ will hear you say that, and they'll be like, "Wow, like that's so cool." I spoke about it to maybe about 2-3 people, and the amount of respect I got from them, they saw me as like the fucking highest tier human being you could be. They looked at me like this. They were like, "Wait, what? You didn't even bring it with you? I wish I could do that." I swear to God, like a girl said this to me. I swear to God, that is insane. And you know the same girl, right? There's this girl in my gym who brings a notepad just like this, and she writes her lifts down on it. I know because I spoke to her before, and I told her about the app I use on my phone, but she liked it this way, whatever. She still brings her phone to the gym, but she just writes it on this notepad, right? I bring my notepad in, and on the day I see her, I say, "Oh, look, I've got one too." And she's, "Oh, wow, you've got one," or whatever. And then I say to her, like, "Oh, yeah, like I hate using my phone, so I've not brought it." And she went, "Wait, you've not brought your phone? Oh my God, that's crazy, right?" And you know what's interesting? No offense to her, but you know what's interesting? She just went on like a digital kind of retreat just about a week ago. I live in Bali, and there's loads of like meditation retreats, and it's like a kind of a spiritual place where like there's loads of kind of camps and whatever you can go to where like you won't use your phone for like a week, right? So she basically had the digital detox that a lot of us want. Like she didn't use her phone for like a week, but guess what? The moment she got back to normal life, she started carrying her phone with her. You should have seen the look on her face. She went like, "Oh yeah, but since I've come back from there, I've just been doing it again." You could take a month, you could take a year off your phone, but if you start carrying it on you again, within a day, you'll be back to the same habits. I promise. You'll be back to them. So it's not, I promise, I for so long, I've tried to do the thing where I keep my phone on me, but I try to like just try and not abuse it. I try, I delete Instagram, I move the apps, I get the blocker, I've done all those things, and within like a day, like bro, if you're watching this, you'll be nodding your head. What happens after like 2 days of you deleting Instagram? What happens? You download it again. You do. It's not about the small changes that you make on your phone. It's just about what your life is like as a whole. And what I've realized for me, if I have my phone on me, I will use it for minimum like 4 hours a day. I'll just end up, I'll use it on the toilet. I'll have like for example, to take a shit, it takes 5 minutes. But when I'm taking a shit with my phone, I'm on there for like 20 minutes. And I shit like 6 times a day. So I'm like wasting an easy hour just fucking scrolling on Instagram, messaging people, whatever. Then when I'm downstairs and I'm supposed to be reading, I'll stop reading every 20 minutes to like check my phone and stuff. And I'm like, bro, I'm like a disciplined guy. I still use my phone a lot less than probably 50% of the fucking world, right? So I realize, I just have to admit this to you. I'm not capable of like disciplining myself to use my phone properly. People say like, "Oh, everything in moderation." No, fuck you. Fuck you. That's fucking bullshit. You can't moderate a fucking addiction. You have to fucking remove it from your life. You don't moderate something that's addictive. That's fucking bullshit. Everything in moderation is what fucking poor fat people say. Fuck those fatties. Fuck those broke motherfuckers. But everything in moderation. Shut up. That's not how life works at all. Successful people are extreme. They don't look at you and say, "Oh, everything in moderation. Yeah, I'd take days off." They don't say that shit. That's not how fucking life works and being a top performer. It's not. I'm not the type of guy who can moderate my fucking phone usage. And I highly doubt you are, or almost anyone else is in the fucking world either. There's very, very few people I've ever met in my life who they can carry their phones on them and they genuinely have like a 1 hour screen time and they literally use it like properly. Bro, I can count on one hand the people who are like that. It's probably not you, even though you're thinking like, yeah, I'm one of those people. Go look at your screen time. Guarantee it's 2 hours, 4 hours or some bullshit, bro. It's not you. It's not any of us. That's it. So for me, what I realized, I will only have like a healthy screen time of like less than 1 hour if I keep my phone switched off and if I don't even keep it on me. I'm not even talking about in my backpack. I'm talking about I just don't fucking keep it on me. Because the moment I've got it on me, before I realize, I'll be replying to this message, then this thing, then I'll see this message, whatever, and it'll just fuck me up. That's it. What I realized as well, about my phone was because on my computer, I basically just do work, right? I just like use it for like these videos and a few random things, right? I don't really like, I don't use my computer for like entertainment or anything. What I realized was every time I checked my phone, I would feel this sense of like kind of some negativity. You know, I've had to check my phone more than just once. You know, there was a time when like my food delivery should have been outside, but it wasn't. So I was like, oh, fuck's sake. So I had to turn my phone off and see what it was. And like the driver was on like the wrong street, whatever. And every time I checked my phone or my WhatsApp, that I always got like this bit of like emotional of a negativity. And you won't feel this right now. You know, when you're using your phone like 100 times a day, which is like average for people, you won't feel this. It's only when you've barely used your phone for a few days and then you go on like WhatsApp or something, Instagram, whatever, you'll get this instant mood kill, like this, you know, this buzz kill, where it's like you are all just happy living in the normal life. And the moment you go on Instagram or you go on any of these apps, you'll just get this sense of like sadness. You know, like this one girl hasn't replied to you, or you didn't get many likes on this picture, or all of that, you know, internet digital bullshit. I promise, bro, now after a few days of not using my phone, when I've checked my messages, I really can tell like I'm in this like high kind of emotional frequency. I'm like probably like 10-15% happier than I usually am, which is, bro, that's fucking awesome, right? You'd probably pay like a fucking $1,000,000 to live 10% happier for the rest of your life, right? That's fucking awesome to have. That's a fucking, if that was like a stat in like a video game, that'd be fucking sick to have 10% happier for the rest of your life, right? But every time I check my phone, I always get this sense of like this slight like 10-20% reduction, this lower frequency. I really feel it now. I never felt this way just a few days ago when I used my phone like all day. I never felt this way because you just feel like that 24/7. You know, it's that thing of like if you eat shit food all the time, you just feel normal. When you eat clean and then you eat shit, if you eat clean for a while, then you eat shit food, then you feel really shit and you're like, oh shit, this is how I was feeling all that time. It's kind of like that. If you use your phone all the time, you won't feel this because you are literally, your baseline, like your 24/7 level is that slightly depressed version of you. Even though you've got like happy moments and stuff, you have that slight kind of like negativity, this low mood just when you're the type of guy who uses your phone. I promise you try this, right? You start keeping your phone like in the drawer, underneath your bed, whatever. Turn it off. Go out to the gym and all those things without your phone. Check your phone every now and then, and I promise you'll like be aware of this. You'll check your phone and you'll get that same slightly depressive kind of feeling because it's just so unnatural. It's so bullshit. I want the only interaction which I have with people to just be in person. Honestly, it's like it's so bullshit. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I still need to message people for some things. Like I said, I go to this gym where I do classes there as well. Like I like to do some like stretching classes, whatever. So to do that, you have to like message them. So I've got to message them, right? And I've got some friends who message me. I've got to message my cameraman and tell him what time to come to my place to record, whatever. I'm messaging some girls. Mostly, like I don't really text like a faggot, but I text like, you know, for logistics. Hey, come over at 4 p.m. Come over at 7 p.m. But you still have to do that, right? You still have to kind of like go on WhatsApp, go on Instagram. And I'm telling you, every single time I've done it in the last 2-3 days, I notice right away that I'm like sadder for like 10 minutes. And also, look, not to like boast right now, I just want you to just be honest and be a bit humble. Like you need to be humble, right? Who do you think has like a better kind of like digital life, you or me? No offense, I don't mean to shit on you, but chances are, bro, that for 100% of the people watching this, chances are I've got more girls and hotter girls who message me. I've got more clout. I've got more money. I've got like, you know, like higher level conversations. Just no offense, but you can probably just be humble enough to think, yeah, fair enough. Hamza's 28. He's a millionaire. He's got hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram, millions. You know, you probably just be honest, right? So chances are my messages that I receive and my sort of notifications, I don't have notifications turned on, but you get my point. Like my sort of like digital world, it's probably nicer than yours. And I still feel this way. And by the way, this isn't talking about hate comments or anything, because I don't really like see that, and it hasn't affected me that much anymore. So I'm not talking about hate comments. I'm talking about personal fucking messages. I'm talking about just you know, having to go onto WhatsApp or Instagram messages and message a friend or whatever. I'm talking about that stuff, right? I'm not talking about like, oh yeah, I scroll all my comments and someone said something mean and you know, now I feel bad, because that would be like a specific thing to me as a content creator, but not to you. I'm talking about just personal fucking WhatsApp. You know, the first time I noticed this, I don't think I've ever told you this story before, but back in 2022, I was with my ex-girlfriend and we went on our first trip together. And we went driving through Scotland, like in this road trip. So imagine we're literally like driving and sleeping in a car for like a couple of days, right? And it's like, it's beautiful, wildlife, nature, driving through Scotland where it's like all the mountains and everything. And since we're in this kind of like, you're just constantly driving, stopping at cafes, fucking and everything, that I wasn't looking at my phone much, like at all. Like my screen time must have been super low. But after about 2, 3 days on the trip, I clicked on WhatsApp for the first time, and my WhatsApp screen was full of messages. And I swear to God, within a second, I got that same sense of kind of like sadness, agitation, whatever. Within a glimpse, I think I went on WhatsApp just to message like my family, just to say like, oh hey, to send them a picture or whatever, because it'd been like 3 days since I spoke to them. But within a second, when you click on an app, like a messaging app, you know how you see like 10 messages right away and you can read them and everything. Within a second, I see the faces of like other YouTubers. Sneeko was on there, if you know him. He's like a big like content creator. And he was sending me a message because he wanted me to come onto like a live stream or some shit. Then someone else was there, then someone else, then family, then this other girl and whatever. There was just bullshit on my phone, right? And I remember I got this same feeling instantly where for the last few days when I was on this road trip, I felt so good. I'm like laughing with this girl that I've just gotten into like a new relationship with. We're falling in love. It's beautiful. We're on this adventure. We're laughing so much and we're like just goofing around and everything. And I didn't feel like a sense of sadness at all. Do you know, especially because like you're living like a primal life. Like we were like just parking up in random places and sleeping in the car, like in the woods and everything. And you know what I mean? It's like very stimulating life, like on a road trip. But the moment I checked my phone, it made me feel so randomly like agitated and sad. Like not crazy, but like 20% worse. Exactly like how I felt just like yesterday when I checked my phone. And imagine that this is how most of us live our lives constantly. Like, imagine you're 20% less happy and kind of like in a social flow just because you use your phone too much. And I'm telling you, bro, all the things that we think we want from our phone, like we want to be connected to friends and we want to be able to talk to girls and everything. I'm telling you, in a weird way, you'll have that anyway without even using your phone. You'll really have that. Like, bro, you go to the gym at the same time every day. You'll see the same guys there every day. And yeah, you've not organized with them to come meet me at 9 a.m. But people kind of just expect you to be in the same kind of spot every day and you speak to them, whatever. I have like 2, 3 girls who go to the same gym as me and they know where I'll be. So they'll come up to me now because I told them I'm not using my phone. So they'll come up to me now and they're like, oh my God, like, it's day 3, day 4 of not using your phone, whatever. And it's like, bro, you can still have like a great sexual life without needing to like constantly find girls to text and all this bullshit, bro. It's fucking like, it's so just not worth it. I'm telling you, like, when you're the type of guy and you're kind of like one dimensional, you're just looking for like an outcome. Like, for example, a lot of guys just want to fuck, right? So then they're thinking, okay, I just want to fuck, which means I've got to download all the dating apps, which means I've got to be texting all these girls. I'm on Snapchat streaks with this girl and all this bullshit. I really don't think you should live your life where you're just kind of obsessed over this one kind of singular outcome of like, yeah, I just want to get laid. Yeah, I just want to text my friends, whatever. I think you should look at your life as a whole and think, okay, as a whole, overall, what makes my life better? I can probably have more sex if I have the dating apps and I message a lot of girls. But as a whole, when I do that, it doesn't feel nice. And even when you smash one of those girls that you meet on a dating app, it's not even like that much of a fun experience. It's still nice, fine, it's still, still something. But overall, your life kind of feels worse when you're the type of guy who's on these dating apps and there's so many fucking girls to message and fucking copy paste messages to send I mean, I assume you get a lot less messages, so it's like doesn't take you too fucking long. But either way, if you are getting like 10, 20, 30 messages a day, which at some point you will do, maybe not right now, but if I go like, this is why I don't use dating apps, I'll get like 100, 200 fucking matches a day. It literally gives me like a fucking mental illness. I know it's like, oh, woe is me, some men die of thirst or whatever bullshit, but it's like this is just, I basically have the hyper version of what's happening to you right now. And this is not like, oh, Hamza's some separate person. You're basically in the same fucking path as me. You're following my footsteps. 5 to 10 years from now, you will be the type of guy who'll have like 10, 20, 30 girls who will be messaging you every few days. Maybe you're probably not even far from that right now if you've got like, 2 girls on Snapchat, then you've got 3 on Instagram, then 3 on WhatsApp, whatever. And it's like, it's not nice. I know you think it is because we look in this like one-dimensional vacuum thinking, oh yeah, it's these girls texting me. But overall, you actually feel worse and you turn into a bit of an autist. I like being this weird kind of guy who's just a bit of like, I don't even know how to explain it, like a bit of like an adventurer or something, where it's just, I'm not connected to the digital world. And what a fucking, what's the word? What a contradiction that is, that I'm like an influencer and I don't like the internet. And I feel like it's fucked me up. If I never used the internet, I probably would have had a better fucking life, right? And that's if on the extreme end, if I basically never used it. But if I use the internet, but only for the sort of 80-20 rule of what actually helped me, which was basically creating and posting content but not really consuming it, and a few random things that I've consumed which have actually helped me, like, you know, forum pages and some YouTube videos that have actually changed my life. That's like the 3% of 0.0001% of my internet usage that has actually helped me in life, which is me creating content, and also maybe the 50 hours of consumption that I've done on like random videos, podcasts, and subreddit like pages, whatever, that have helped me grow. I've spent probably like 20, 30,000 hours on the internet, and probably you have as well, right? We've all probably spent like fucking 30,000 hours on the internet. And honestly, less than like 1,000 hours has probably like been worth it, maybe even less. Like, just think about that for a second. That's fucking insane, right? Most of us, if you stopped playing video games when you were like 17, 18 years old, most of us probably spent not far from like 10,000 hours on those games, easily like 3,000 to 5,000 hours on those games, especially if you were playing like MMORPGs like I was, you know, where you have like a character, you can level it up. And then we move over to scrolling and porn and stuff. Imagine if you had a tracker that showed you all this. Video games you've played for 4,070 hours. Porn you've watched for 912 hours. Social media consumption you've had for 7,000 hours. It's commonly stated, it's not completely true, but it's an okay little number. It's commonly stated that to become a master at a skill will take you about 10,000 hours. A master is like, okay, you're one of the best humans in existence at that skill. So whether it's like boxing, for example, or it's storytelling or whatever, you can become one of the best humans in existence in a skill if you do it for about 10,000 hours with deliberate practice, focus, you know, no multitasking bullshit, right? And most of us have put 10,000 hours in scrolling. What if you put that into like football? When I was young, I used to be addicted to this video game called RuneScape. And I always kept on asking myself, I was like, imagine if I put these thousands of hours that I played this game, like I played it since I was like 7 years old, till the point that I was about 17, 18 years old. And then I played it a few more times, like when I was a bit older. Imagine if I put those thousands of hours into a sport. We can never go back in time, but we can make sure that we create like a big distance. Like I really want you to think about this right now. Think about every hour you've spent on the internet and on your screens, right? Easily, I would say it's probably 20,000 hours, maybe even more over your life. And ask yourself, which of that time was actually productive, which actually helped you in life? Probably what, the 100 hours that you've watched like my videos? Maybe the extra 20 hours you watched maybe someone else? Maybe that's about it. Of all the time that you've spent on your screens, the only thing you have to show for it, like the transformation that has happened in your life, that has started giving you like a good life, has come from like 100 hours of your consumption. And I would assume, maybe I'm just like, my dick's too big here, but like I would assume that most of that consumption is just you watching like my kind of content, and it's me that's kind of changed your life. The tens of thousands of hours we spent on our screens, and many of us have only actually had like an productive like 100 to 200 hours. So I want you to just do this practice. Think about all the things that you've done on the internet and on screens since when you were young. You were messaging people, and you'd go on those random gaming sites, and you had Minecraft, all those things, right? Think about then all the screen time, especially in the last few years, this bullshit scrolling, all this stuff. And then ask yourself, like, what's actually been productive? What's genuinely, like, changed my life? Not just consuming content, like, you know, how he says here, like, I constantly watch and listen to something. A lot of people, they watch, like, fucking podcasts in the background, but then they're still poor, fat, and idiots. So it's not like it's actually helping them. What content have you consumed that's genuinely caused transformation inside of you? Not just that you've like learned things, because learning only matters if it actually changes your actions and it changes your results. But which, like, oh, this is insightful. No, it doesn't fucking matter. Most podcasts are just fucking bullshit, honestly. They seem really intellectual, but your life doesn't actually change. You get insights, but then your life doesn't change from actually listening to them. People just listen to them because they're just fucking coping, pretending to be productive, just because they're just like fucking lazy, basically. But how much transformation has your life actually gone through from most of your consumption? Basically, just from like watching my videos. And maybe if you've got someone else in mind who you're like, oh no, this other creator definitely helped me. But that's it. All of the time we spent on our screens, and what you have to show for it is probably about 100 hours of consumption. That's what's actually helped you. So what we want, because we don't want to have absolutely zero. Because imagine I said to you, okay, I've got zero screen time in my entire life. But then I would have never been able to help you. I would have never had this business. I would have never been able to retire my family. I would have never been able to have like the impact on young men. So it's not about having zero, but it's about finding the absolute pinnacle of our screen time. So for me, what would it be? It would be when I create content, kind of like this, because this is technically screen time. You know, I'm on this platform. This is like my community, right? So this is technically screen time. It's when I am creating content and then basically reading. Sometimes like there's been like pages and, you know, like some articles and those kinds of things that have helped me in life. Kind of like, you know, this post right here, kind of like that, basically. That's it. For everything else, bro, I've watched like a ton of YouTubers and so many of them are like insightful, but then my life doesn't actually get much better from them. And it's probably the same for you. You probably are subscribed to like 10 YouTubers. You get like kind of nice feelings from some of them, but your life doesn't change from most YouTubers. I genuinely, I know I'm biased, but I genuinely think I'm one of the few YouTubers that actually causes a change inside of the viewers. Everyone else says cute things and they're so insightful and their videos are so full of value, but then their viewers stay the same. My viewers do not stay the same. My viewers change their lives forever. Most creators' viewers stay the same. So you need to just like try and figure out, okay, of all the screen time, if you just got to choose like one or two things that you could do on screens, what would it be? For me, it would be creating content, and it'd basically just be like reading and just a bit of learning. Not like this fucking bullshit podcast thing, but every now and then there's like a bit of learning. But even the learning, honestly, I've realized like learning on my screens is just fucking bullshit. I'm much better off reading, like reading books. So that's it. I should use my computer and my phone in terms of, you know, this consumption just to create content. That's it. For me, I'm the type of guy who like going onto these platforms, YouTube and stuff, it doesn't fucking help me. I wish it did. I wish I had like a Hamza to learn from like you've had me, but I've not. That's it. So you should ask yourself that question and think, okay, like what screen time has actually genuinely helped me? What screen time is actually helping me right now? And it might only be 1 to 5% of your total screen time. And bro, then that's what you should start to pursue. So that should be the thing that maybe you do on your computer. But other than that, yeah, just be careful of this shit, bro, because most people, they're literally losing their entire lives to this. How insane is it that this guy who's asked for this advice, Taras, chances are he might not even have made it this far into this video that I've made specifically for him because of his shitty attention span. No offense to him, but you know, this is like the consequences of this like modern day internet addiction. I genuinely think it's one of the biggest fucking problems ever. And I really want you to try and step out of this bullshit. And I promise you, I've done a lot of thinking about this, a lot of experimentation, a lot of trials and tests. And the single best thing that I've done so far is just keeping my phone turned off and away. And I'm already in the habit of only using my computer for like this work. Basically, I just do this type of stuff. And of course, like I have to message my team and whatever. But that's it. That's what I recommend for you. And what's been nice for these guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, is a lot of these guys who are in this community, they say the same thing to me, which is like, yeah, like they hate being on social media, like on YouTube and everything. And I know what you're thinking, wait, this is a bit of a social media. This is a bit different. This is more like a forum page where guys who are serious on self-improvement are discussing things. So even though this is it's kind of like social media, right? But imagine being a young guy and being able to get 13 people to give their input of like the girl that you're considering. Imagine being able to celebrate with 24 people to 12 people when you get like your first sale in business. You get what I mean? It's like this, even though this seems like a social media, what I've had is people who join here, they keep saying like, oh yeah, this is super fucking nice. Like, I'm so glad I've joined here because now they don't need to actually be on social media anymore, like YouTube, whatever. And then this is why I make courses inside here. So these guys, they never have to fucking go on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, but they still get the kind of helpful Hamza education that's always changed their life. So I think this place is a fucking gold mine. If you're the type of guy who you want to quit 99% of your screen time, a lot of the guys here, what they've said is basically the only time they use their computer or their phone, apart from some essential like messaging, whatever, is just to come here to learn to read these posts. Because you know, imagine you're dating a girl and then you read one of these posts, and one of the posts is kind of like similar to the girl you're dating. And if everyone in the chat is saying, yeah, dump her, dump her, dump her, you're like, oh shit, yeah, like my girl's a bit of a hoe as well. I didn't even think about it, whatever. You get to have that advice. You even get videos like this where I'm literally made a video for the what was his name, Taras, who asked for this advice. It's fucking, bro, it's such a good place. If you're the type of guy who you want to get rid of like 99% of your fucking shitty dopamine, make this the place which you actually use the internet, and it will actually 100%, it will change your life. So top link in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. Just come and join, give it a try for a month. It's like $37. Just give it a try and just see what happens when you really come here and you can stop going onto YouTube, TikTok, social media, all that bullshit, and just have your internet usage as here, this educational platform where everyone's on self-improvement. So that's the top link in the description. And I really hope this helps anyone who needed it, including Taras.